afternoon, everyone. My name is Rana Saeed. I am one of the pediatric epilepsy doctors at Children's Medical Center in Dallas and at UT Southwestern. Our Children's Medical Center med staff team is thrilled to have you start off your virtual Epilepsy Foundation walk with an energizer, and we are here today to teach you how to do the energizer for 500 miles by the Proclaimers, and then you'll see a montage of us all doing it together. Lasso, 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 wee-haw. Swim, swim, ski, 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 tree, 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 tree. Swim, 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 swim. Hit your head on a tree. Wow! Woo! Howl like a doggy. Woo! 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 Now we're gonna walk 500 miles. Turn. 500 more to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall at your door. Now we're gonna jump. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Jump in. Jump. Da 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 da. We're doing a little bit of John Travolta here. All right. I hope you enjoyed our tutorial and go make some money for camp. Woo!
When I'm lonely, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's slowly with you. I grow old, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's growing old with you. But I would walk 500 miles
Now, Reagan.
Good afternoon, and welcome to everyone to the first virtual Walk to End Epilepsy here in Dallas, Texas. My name is Jim Siemens, and I'm the president of the board of directors for the Epilepsy Foundation of Texas here in Dallas-Fort Worth. But I'm also the chair for this 2020 virtual Walk to End Epilepsy, and we're excited to have you all here with us today. As of today, you, sponsors, individuals, walkers, have raised over $30,000. And we thank you for that, for your efforts in going out and raising the funds for this epilepsy walk. Not only do you raise funds, but you also raise the awareness level about epilepsy. In fact, many of you are probably aware that 1 out of 26 people will be diagnosed with epilepsy, and 1 out of every 10 of us will be diagnosed with a seizure at some time in our life. So today is not just about walking and raising funds. Today's about raising the awareness for epilepsy and walking to end epilepsy. We want to see what you're doing out there. So please send us your pictures, put them on social media, chat with us in the chat box. Let us know how you're doing your walk, whether you're going outside, whether you're doing it virtually, whether you're on a treadmill. But we want to hear from you, because the Epilepsy Foundation is there for you. The mission of the Epilepsy Foundation to continue our clinics throughout the state, to continue our educational programs, to continue the summer camps and our epilepsy support groups. That mission can only be completed because of the efforts of you today in raising funds in this walk to end epilepsy. So thank you very much for walking. Please let us know. Please talk to us and share everything with us. Now, before we get started, I want to introduce you to a lady that I've known for over 7 years, both as a leader and as a friend. But this lady has been involved with the Epilepsy Foundation of Texas for over 37 years. I'm talking about Donna Stallhut. Donna has been the leader of this organization for many years, and her staff have done a fantastic job in pulling off not only today's walk, but all the walks that are going on today. Donna, I want to personally thank you, and the board of directors want to thank you and your staff for all the work and all the efforts that you have put into to make this a successful walk to end epilepsy. So Donna, take it away.
What a great day to celebrate epilepsy in the state of Texas. For the first time ever, we are having a walk to end epilepsy that is happening in 4 major metropolitan areas, all on the same day, and you are participating with us. Thank you so much. I am Donna Stallhut, the CEO of the Epilepsy Foundation of Texas. Many of you know that I started the Epilepsy Foundation in Houston with a phone in my kitchen because I have a son who had uncontrolled seizures. And during those days when we were struggling with this diagnosis, I flew to Dallas and met 2 amazing women. Betty Brown, the founder of the High Plains Epilepsy Association in Amarillo, started that organization because her son had died and drowned from a seizure. I also met a wonderful woman named Carmen Michael. Carmen had started the organization in the Dallas-Fort Worth area because she had a daughter with epilepsy and other neurological conditions. and I learned from them and worked with them. And over the course of these years, we all came together to form the Epilepsy Foundation of Texas. And you are part of that organization today. We have 4 major programs at the Epilepsy Foundation. Our camping program is the largest in the world for kids with epilepsy. And next week, we have all of our campers going on a virtual camping experience with us. And many of our campers and their families are participating in this walk to end epilepsy today. Thank you. Next year is going to be a banner year for our camping programs as we celebrate the 30-year anniversary of the start of our camps, which began in 1991 when 40 kids went off for a week of camp at no cost to them and their families. Now we serve over 300 some campers each year. And so join us next year for a banner year. Our education programs are known throughout the country for the quality of the education that we provide. What's been exciting to see is that our education programs and our support groups have gone virtual. Why that's been exciting is that I am seeing people from all over the country watching our education series. The big education impact we're having across the state of Texas is with Sam's Law. Sam's Law was passed by the Texas legislature in 2019, and it requires that all Texas public school personnel be trained in seizure first aid and recognition, making our schools seizure safe for our kids with epilepsy. One of our walkers today was one of the leading advocates in that effort. Claudia Crenell and Amarillo was a big part in that, along with Sherry Dudo, another volunteer who's walking with us in the fall in Tyler. Our medical clinics, 8 of them across the state of Texas, serve 1,500 people with epilepsy who struggle to even put food on the table, let alone to provide the high quality medical care they receive in our clinics. And those clinic patients and their families are walking to support us today. Thank you for that effort. Thank you for supporting these clinic patients so that they can maintain seizure safety, maintain their employment, stay out of the emergency room. We salute you all for that. And then the big effort that we have is in research. You know, we're walking to end epilepsy, which has been one of the most underfunded medical conditions in the field of neurology ever. We need to stop that, and we need to end it now. So thank you all for being part of that effort to lead the fight to end epilepsy now. We have all been impacted in some way by epilepsy. And today, I pass the baton on so that you can hear the shared stories of what it is like to live with epilepsy. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Donna, and thank you to everyone who's joining us today. If you don't know who I am, I'm Shannon, and I'm with the Epilepsy Foundation here in Dallas. We actually have a few families with us who would like to share their stories with you. So I would like to welcome Stephanie and Reagan Focus.
Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Focus. This is my 12-year-old son Reagan Focus. We are so excited that you're here today to do our virtual walk to end epilepsy. We wanted to share a little bit about Reagan's story. He was diagnosed with epilepsy back in 2012. He was just 4 years old. They ended up finding out that the reason for his epilepsy was a cortical dysplasia, which is like a malformation in the brain that happens in utero. He actually went from having his very first seizure at the end of May in 2012 to having brain surgery for it when in the early part of July. So just in a matter of about 6 weeks, we went from our first diagnosis to brain surgery. He stayed seizure-free after brain surgery for about 16 months, and then we ended up having to go back on some medication. He actually is interestingly one of the people who does really well on CBD or cannabidiol as a treatment for his epilepsy. But most importantly, his diagnosis back in 2012 led us to our relationship with the Epilepsy Foundation of Texas. really using this organization as a platform for information, services, camps. Reagan, can you tell everybody a little bit about the things that you've done and how you have engaged with the Epilepsy Foundation of Texas?
Okay, so I attended camp about 2 years ago, and it was really fun. I did a lemonade stand with my brother and sister and raised some money for the Epilepsy Foundation there. I also ended up going to both of the horse race and the zoo.
That's the Race On Over,
Yeah,
which
Race
is
On
like
Over.
the fall fundraiser for the Epilepsy
Yeah, and
Foundation
the
here in
zoo.
Dallas. And the one in Houston as well. And what did you get to do with those two events?
I got to share my story, and I ended up raising a lot of money for the Epilepsy Foundation there.
Excellent. So anyways, we are very passionate about this. This will actually be, I think, our 5th year. This obviously this is a virtual walk this year, but we have been to the walks to end epilepsy that the Dallas organization has done for the last 4 years. This will be our 5th year. We're sad not to see all of you all at the Dallas Zoo, but we are just excited that you're here, that you're raising money for this cause that is so important to supporting the programs and services that the Epilepsy Foundation Texas does all over our state. So on behalf of our family, thank you. Thank you to all of your families. Thank you for being here today. We love you and we just appreciate everything that you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are such huge supporters and advocates for epilepsy, and we're very grateful for you. Before we continue, I'd just like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. So our national sponsors, Greenwich Biosciences, Eisai Neuralis, our state sponsor, UCB, and our sponsors, Synovian, Baylor Scott & White, Sam's Club, Cooper & Scully, SK Life Science, Livanova, and Zogenix. You guys have made this all possible today. And we're actually lucky enough to have some representatives to show their support for you. So I'd like to turn it over to Alina Barton.
Hello everyone, my name is Alina Barton and I'm honored to be speaking with you virtually today on behalf of Greenwich Biosciences and our entire team. As a nationwide presenting sponsor, Greenwich Biosciences is proud to partner with the Epilepsy Foundation and its affiliates for events like this across the country. We are united in what we're trying to accomplish here today, to raise epilepsy awareness and to have a positive effect on care, on research, and on the lives of those who are impacted by seizures. There are so many families who wake up every day to the reality of epilepsy. There are people listening right now who have been fighting against it their entire lives, and there are others who are not able to join us. But as a community, we never give up hope that one day we will overcome the challenges of living with this disease. This is what drives us. You may know us best as the company researching and delivering FDA-approved cannabinoid medications to help address serious conditions, but also know that our focus is you. Patients and families are at the center of everything we do, and we strive to make a positive and meaningful difference in their lives, in your lives. We were all hoping this walk would go on as planned, but it's still wonderful to see the community come together even during uncertainty in times like this, when it's so essential that we stay physically apart. But next year, we'll be back together, stronger than ever. Stay safe and strong, and have a great virtual walk.
And we have another family that's here today to share their story with you, so let's welcome the Tuits.
Hi everybody, we're Team Tuit. I'm Colin's dad, Kevin.
I'm Colin's mom, Michelle.
I'm Colin's sister, Katie.
And I'm Colin.
In July of 2015, we were walking on a beach in Maine when Colin just sort of wandered away from us, and we didn't realize at the time, but that was his first seizure. And that's where our epilepsy journey began. Came home from he went into the hospital in Maine and got an MRI so that we could fly home the next day. And over the course of the next few days, he had his first grand mal seizure in our house, and we were introduced then to his first neurologist, Dr. Sheth, here in Frisco, and who was an amazing doctor who pushed hard to make sure she cared for Colin. And when she realized it was a very difficult case to handle, his was very unusual. She got us down to Children's Hospital, where we were introduced to Dr. Rana Saeed, who became his epileptologist.
So Dr. Saeed took over Colin's case, and she worked tirelessly to ensure that Colin's seizures were under control, and sometimes his brain wasn't going to allow that no matter how many drugs he was on or how many tests he had. Dr. Ben Greenberg was also involved with Colin's case during our time at Children's, and it was suspected that Colin had an autoimmune encephalitis on top of having seizures. During 2017, he spent many days in the hospital, and at the end of one 3.5-week stay in the hospital where he had surgery to implant a VNS, we got our first exposure to the Epilepsy Foundation, and Colin went to epilepsy camp, Camp Kaleidoscope, with Dr. Saeed as the medical director. I don't think if she had not been there that we would have allowed him to go. We were too nervous about it. But from there, Colin had an amazing time, and we started attending support groups. We went to epilepsy events. We started including our friends that were not epilepsy people into all of the events. And we even formed our own support group, the 20-something support group that we started with Alana and Josh Moore, to service kids who are not serviced necessarily by adult support groups or teen support groups. And we started meeting people, and really it changed our lives. We learned that we could live with epilepsy, that we could have lives with epilepsy, that Colin could do things, and that it wasn't just that he had to stay in the house and in a bubble. So we thank the Epilepsy Foundation for all of their support, and we thank all of you for all of your support of Team To It. Thank you.
Thanks. And now I'd like to introduce you to Brian Rogers from UCB.
Good afternoon to all the participants of Dallas's virtual walk to end epilepsy with the Epilepsy Foundation of Texas. I'm honored to share a few words of support with everyone participating today. My name's Brian Rogers, and I work for UCB, where our ambition is to transform the lives of people living with epilepsy. If you're not familiar with UCB, you can certainly visit walktoendepilepsy.org/UCB. Once again, walktoendepilepsy.org/UCB. Find all kinds of resources that can help you on your walk with epilepsy as a caregiver or a patient. That being the Epilepsy Advocate Program, also information on UCB Family Epilepsy Scholarship Program, and also UCB Cares to give you access and product information. You can certainly visit there for all that. We're proud to support this event and participate alongside everyone today. However, our support does not end here. We're committed to advancing research to improve the lives of people living with epilepsy and finding solutions that help patients live at their ideal. Thank you for your participation, engagement, and voice. You refuse to let this disease get the best of you, and we are so inspired by your resilience. You continue wearing your purple, creating awareness and walking in support of everyone impacted by epilepsy. For those living with epilepsy, keep your heads high. Don't back down. We're here to celebrate and support you, so let's walk on.
We want to thank everyone for being involved in today's virtual walk to end epilepsy here in Dallas. Special thanks goes out to Reagan and Stephanie Focus and the Tuits for sharing your stories with us. Your stories inspire us. It inspires us how you stay involved with the Epilepsy Foundation. So thank you very much. Also, we'd like to thank our sponsors, our individual fundraisers, our team fundraisers. Without you, today would not have been a success. And if you haven't, please go out, walk. Go out, raise some more funds. And we want to see it. If you want to share things with us, we'd like you to share it with hashtag EFTX virtual walk. That's hashtag EFTX virtual walk. And if you want to continue to donate, or if you know somebody that wants to donate, they can go to dallaswalktoendepilepsy.fundraise.org. That's dallaswalktoendepilepsy, all one word, .fundraise.org. We will be accepting donations even after this event. Now, here in a little bit, Shannon's going to come up and announce the top fundraisers, as in teams and individuals, and recognize the sponsors also. So I would like to personally thank you ahead of time for everything that you've done. And Shannon, again, will announce that shortly. So where does this lead us to from here? Where's the Epilepsy Foundation go to in the future? Well, days like today and fundraising like today allows us to continue our mission. And our mission includes the statewide clinics where over 1,500 patients are seen. Our mission includes summer camp for kiddos that are diagnosed with epilepsy. And we will be having a virtual summer camp this year. Our mission includes educational programs. This year alone, over 51,000 teachers and school personnel have been trained in seizure first aid. Now that came about because there was a Texas state law that's recently passed that requires Texas school personnel to be trained. And that law came about because of a coordinated effort by Grassroots and the Epilepsy Foundation of Texas. So teachers, we thank you. School personnel, we thank you for taking the time, for learning more about seizures, and for being prepared with the first aid training. Lastly, it allows us our mission to continue with our support groups. And here in the Dallas area, there's at least 4 different support groups for patients diagnosed with epilepsy or their families. So that's what a day like today does. Fundraising is just part of it. Awareness is a big part of it. We want you to remember before you leave that the Epilepsy Foundation is always there for you. So please reach out to us, make contact, check out our social media, like our social media. We have many things that we do as a mission, but we want you to be involved in all of them. So again, thank you for a fantastic day. If you haven't walked, go out and walk, and we hope to see you soon. Take care.